Hey, welcome to Spoilers, where I talk about a show or a game in full everything. So if you have not seen the show or game I'm talking about, turn off this video because I'll be spoiling everything. Hence the name, everything's fair game. So this week I'm going to talk about Legend of Korra. I've seen book one, and I'm going to talk about a few select episodes that I really, really thoroughly enjoyed. The first episode for starters that I kind of enjoyed, as I really enjoyed as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it as on a level of a great introduction to this series, um, because it's great for like non-viewers, people who have not seen Lost Airbender. They can just jump right into Korra and not be completely lost. While I have seen The Last Airbender, so I kind of knew the characters before and all that. It was still nice to see this little recap because it was very well done. It explained everything nicely that needed to be explained. But really, what made episode one my favorite is just this idea that this Avatar is already fully trained. She already mastered everything except for air. Uh, all this stuff. It was just, it was great. It was like, okay, cool. You don't have to sit through seasons and seasons of her learning. Uh, things that we've already seen. Because we have not seen a lot of air teaching, so airbending teaching. So it's great to see an episode, season dedicated to how people are taught to be airbenders or whatever. Um, but yeah, what's great about the first episode was just really that it really led into the universe very well, and it was like explained like the times, like immediately you can identify what time zone that they're in or trying to be in, or whatever, and it's great. It works. It's beautiful. I love that episode because it really sets up everything nicely. I think it might. I think it foreshadows the villain as well, like near the end, where it's like, okay, this guy's the bad guy, and Steve Blum's character, Amon, I think, is how you pronounce it. Great character. I really enjoyed having that character on in almost every episode. But yeah, that was great in the first episode. The kind of little teaser of that villain. And speaking of which, leads to my most number one favorite episode in the entire season, which is, you've guessed it, the one where she gets scared. Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite episodes, where she faces her fears of Amon, and because she knows that he can take her bending away. And this is a thing that I really liked about that episode, was it kind of drove home the idea that he can take away bending permanently, and now Korra is vulnerable as everyone else, and I love that because in the Last Airbender, especially near the end, at some point it kind of started to feel more, to me at least, he's just gonna become a juggernaut, and there's really nothing that he's fearing here. It's just the only thing he has to worry about is getting killed, and that, which is a good thing to be afraid of. But it was just, I still felt that he didn't have enough. Like, he wasn't that afraid, or because he was more concerned about killing someone than him getting killed or whatever. So it was just whatever. While this episode was like, yeah, she gets fucking scared, and should have. It was great because it made her more human, made her more relatable, and made her just more entertaining to look at than and to sympathize with than Aang was, in my opinion. Uh, because the scene that I'll be talking about specifically is, when she's at Avatar Island or whatever it's called, and she's waiting for Amon to show up, and then he doesn't show up, and she's like, "Well, guess he's the chicken or whatever," and she's just walking all calm and relaxed, and then she is dragged into the darkness. In my opinion, it's almost violently dragged in as well, like really, really violently dragged in. But I can't remember. I might be embellishing the scene. But anyways, she gets dragged into the darkness, and uh, uh, Amon pretty much tells her, after she's been pretty much energy blocked by all the ninjas immediately, Amon tells her, I could take your bending away right now, but I'm not gonna do that. And this is the fact that he told her that, and while she was right there and helpless, was so intense because it was like, wow, if he was just ready to do all that just to give her a warning, Oh man. And that's really what I liked about that. And a lot of people can say, "Oh, it's stupid of him to do that," but it's like he had a point why he couldn't take her bending away, and he even told her that, which I think is much more scary than telling her, "Oh, I could, but I'm not." I mean, that's scary, but I think it's more terrifying to know that he really wanted to. But yeah, I really like that scene of just that tension and closeness with that villain, and then you know, her being left and left there, and then Tenzin being like, well, what happened? And she was like, I'm on, I can still bend, and as soon as because he asked her like, oh, did you take your bending away? And she said, no, I still have it. As soon as she said that, she started to cry, and at that moment, as soon as she started to cry, I was like, wow, this is a great character. This is a great episode. I love it. No other episode could top it, and really none of them could. Even if I mean, it was just, I mean, they're great episodes. Don't get me wrong, but this one was just perfect for me because it really made the character more likable and more, uh, balanced. And finally, the show gave you a reason to actually be on the edge of your seat than just telling you should. It's like, yeah, she could, be whatever. And I love that episode in that regard. And it's really one of my favorite episodes of all time in any show. Uh, another episode I want to talk about is the finale, which led me in a very kind of mixed feelings kind of way. Uh, I liked how I like the season in general, and I kind of like and the way it ended was okay. I think it was a great way to end the season. But here's where I'm torn about the finale. Again, spoilers. Uh, I kind of don't like how Amon finally blocks her bending, and she can't bend anymore. The only thing that she can is air, uh, which is really awesome. That he finally got her to not bend for a while, and it was great because she got really sad, and even you felt sad. I mean, it was this really sad scene. She goes home and everyone's like, "Oh, that sucks. I mean, what's gonna happen?" And then she just kind of runs off, and it's like, okay, well, I just want some time alone. And then then Aang comes in, and it's like, undo, and it's like, and that to me, I just didn't know how I felt about it because it worked to me. The show got away with it because if they didn't have give her bending back, then it would mean that the seasons to come would just be her relearning things. And to me, I don't think the writers wanted to do that because I think that would just be repetitive and it would just kind of be the same old thing. So it's great. So I'm kind of happy that they didn't go that route, and they were like, yeah, well, whatever. But at the same time, though, it came at the price of it felt too cheap and cheaty, and just kind of happened really, really fast, which I think is, again, it's a mixed message because it's hard to work with that kind of stress because you just don't know how to work with it very well because it's either going to come off well done or it's going to come off just not that well. And to me, I think it came off pretty well and it pulled it off, but it left a weird taste in my mouth where it's like I think it, yeah. So I mean, ultimately, I think it works for what it was trying to do. So yeah, that's the finale. Feel so. That's it for my 2 cents. There's a lot more I could go into, but I'm gonna stop right here. If you have if you want me to do part two of it, feel free to hit me up. If you have anything to contribute to this conversation, feel free to address it in the comments below. I will either reply to them or do a video reply to them. See you next time.